Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar on the Coinbase chart. We're using Coinbase because my other chart is so freaking jacked up with lines all over the place. I can't even see anything on it unless I'm super zoomed in. And we are zoomed out today. We are looking at right here the 2017 parabolic portion of the bull rally. We're kind of looking at the general overall gist of things to get a feel of what we may expect in the coming months ahead. Now, the channels you see here, you can clearly see that this parabolic portion of the rally is depicted by these two channels. Started going up here, went a little sideways, went up the center of both these channels, came a little sideways more, and then clearly up in this portion of the channel. And price action is pretty much described by these or defined by these channels. Clearly you can see how we move. I mean, look at this. Look at how it's moving right up along in there. So, also note the white sideways channel. This is the channel from which all parabolic bull rallies start. And now we didn't have any consolidation within this channel here back in 2017, but clearly we were moving at the same slope pretty much as this channel, staying underneath it. We rallied up to it several times, and it wasn't until we broke through it here, as we broke through it is where we began the parabolic portion of our bull rally. So that's the interaction that channel has with price action. You can see as we go back, even all the way back here as far as this goes, we rallied up to the channel, got rejection. We kept getting rejection from that channel for a long time, got a whole year. And when we broke it, we were able to break it. We rallied upward dramatically. Now, even here, when we began the rally upwards, we had this huge correction downwards. This is a 40% correction. We bounced right off the top of this channel. We corrected to the top of this channel and then rallied up. So looking here, we had these huge corrections as we moved up. Now, I'm debating whether or not this is similar to what we may see coming up ahead. It's been my opinion that we would rally here in the first quarter of 2025 into March, possibly April. But I'm thinking people are going to start taking profits end of March. That's what I'm thinking. And then we have the sell in May and walk away like we did last year. And we just went sideways and downwards throughout the summer until September, October. I think, it's been my opinion. That's kind of what we did also in 2021. And I've been thinking that that's what we're going to do again coming up here. But looking at this, maybe not. Maybe we don't. Because here is January. Here is March right here. We didn't even begin rallying till April. And then came up dramatically into June, had a big pullback into July, then rallied again through July, in August, and then had this pullback at the end of August. Now, I do believe that that's pretty much a given, that we'll have a pullback end of August. When did we have this pullback? We had this pullback mid-March. So, that's something to think about. And this rally continued till December. So that's different than a rally into March, a pullback, and then another rally into December. It's much different. So we'll just have to address these things as it comes along. And I mean, you're really going to have to be on your toes, I think. Anyway, we're back here because we want to look at what happened in January. Here's January. We rallied up. We started rallying in December, but continued rallying into the first week of January, and then we saw this huge pullback. How much is that? That's probably more than we're going to see. Yeah, look at that. That's like 37% there. I don't think we're going to see a 37% pullback next week or anytime soon. I hope not. That'd be pretty freaking crazy, man. And then after that, and that was over about a week's time, then we continued to rally. But you'll also note that we started around here in January, rallied up the first week, had a huge dump, then continued back up, and finished the month pretty much where we started. And then we continued rallying throughout February and into March, and had some crazy ass choppy action. I don't think it's going to be that volatile. I think it's going to be volatile though, but hopefully it'll be a little bit tamer than this. So now I'm going to clone one of these channels just to show you something here. There we go. And we're going to travel through time here. Let's turn our little gay A guy on there. He's not gay. He's an A guy. Although there would be nothing wrong if he was gay. And when you move this channel over, you can see that it also defines this move here. This mid-rally move from actually a similar time, from March through June. Very similar to what happened, what year is this? This is 2019. Very similar to what happened in 2017. And where did this parabolic rally start from? Consolidation within this white channel. And we bounced off the bottom and started our rally. Let's take our channel over here. Now here we are in 2020. What did we do? We consolidated sideways again. At what slope? At the slope of this white channel right here. We had the COVID crash, but consolidated on top of our white channel at the same slope as the channel. And when we finally bounced off of this channel, we began our parabolic rally. And we began our parabolic rally that was defined by what? Defined by that same parallel channel that I pulled from 2017 that defined the 2019 mid-cycle rally, and defines this part of the 2021 rally as well. Now, let's see what we did. I forgot to look back here. And see what we did in January of this year. Although this is not a bull market year, so I'm comparing apples to oranges here, but let's just look and see. Okay, there's January, and we did kind of went sideways, and then we had a big pump up on the 6th of January, kind of similar to what we're doing now, and we hit a peak this first week of January, and then we had a big dump down and actually continued throughout the month of January to finish lower than where we started, I believe. Yep. Yeah. So we finished lower, and it wasn't until after the first week of February that we started upwards again. And it wasn't until April that we began that mid-cycle rally. So really, you never know what's going to happen, I guess. Now here in, here we had our COVID crash. Here in January, this is a different kind of a January. We just rallied upwards. The first week of January, we had a little pullback. Actually, that's kind of more like a consolidation there. And then rallied up a little bit more, had a little pullback, and continued on to end the month rallying upwards. We should hit 2021. What the hell's going on here? Oh, it's way over here. Okay, we already began going parabolic when January came here, but let's see what happened. So you can't really compare things because here we were already going parabolic. We haven't begun that yet. And in 2020, it wasn't quite the bull market, and we just continued to rally upwards. In 2019, we had that pullback. In 2017, we had a big pullback. And here, the first week of January, we did see a move upwards here, and a pretty big pullback there. But you know what? Here we continued going up until when? Until like around the 8th, 9th, 10th of January, and then we had a pullback. And how much was this here? The top to there. Yeah, that's 30%. Doesn't look like a lot here, but that's a 30% move. But it was in the midst of a so we had started this when? Back in October. And we had just kept going. Now, we've started rallying since October, but it's not the parabolic part yet. Well, and you'll see that in a second, because I'll just take this thing here. So this was towards the end of our parabolic move here. And let's move our little guy over. Actually, let's move him over here. You can see that if I had two of these guys here, like that, or maybe even 1.5, it pretty much captures the move right there, actually. Where we rallied up here, we had this little dump, and then continued the rally up there. But okay, that's not what I want to do. Let's move this guy over to where we are today. First of all, let's look at, well, hey, let's move him back here. Like that, something like that. So you can see here, we moved up in a similar fashion. This is earlier this year in March. We moved up in a similar fashion in this channel upwards into our white channel from which all parabolic bull rallies start. And that was leading me to believe, and probably many others, that we were going to start going parabolic here. We initially had a parabolic move. I did expect a little consolidation within this channel, but then I expected maybe that after consolidating a little bit here, we would continue upwards. But that, of course, did not happen, as you all know. And we fell below the white channel. But now, oh, and we went too far. Now we are consolidating back within the white channel. You know what? Well, actually, I have to leave these on. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. So here we are consolidating within the white channel since when? November? Yeah. Since we had the election pump, that took us back into the white channel. You can clearly see that we used it as support here, the bottom of the channel. Rallied up to the center line, wicked down to the center line here, and it became support. We didn't quite get up to the top of the channel there, but we have used the center line here as support on daily candles. We've wicked through, had these wicks through, but pretty much been support all along this whole region. No, we tried to break out of there a little bit, but got rejected. But basically, we've just been consolidating within this white channel. Even here, when we fell into the daily Gaussian channel depicted by this green dashed line here, we felt just last week and a half ago. We fell into the daily Gaussian channel. The bottom of this white channel became support on candle bodies, and even this wick here, we wicked down to it as support. Now we're coming up here, and I've and seeing that we found support here on the bottom of the channel, that gave me a good reason to believe that we would bounce off here and come out of the daily Gaussian channel for a rally upwards. I wasn't sure how far. I set forth two theories, either the red line up to about around 100, actually getting a rejection off of the center line of this channel and then coming back down, because I know we're going to rally. I know if you watched the last video, the bears didn't have enough. They want us to dump down. They'd like to dump us down to 77, and everybody keeps talking about that. I don't think it's going to happen. And you know, I'm thinking we're in different times than we were back then. And of course, if the market gets really overheated and we got a lot of crazy ass leverage on one side or the other, then yeah, we can get those cascading liquidation effects. I don't see it in the cards right now. However, if we do continue this rally upwards to 108 or so, we might get a scenario where it could be advantageous for the bears to try to dump us down. So we'll just have to see. We're going to have to get a feel for how big these dumps are going to be and what the leverage situations are in the market and stuff like that. Okay, I don't want to see the key facts today. Go away. There we go. So back here, last week, when I set these theories out, it made a lot of sense that we would continue to interact with this Gaussian channel and with these channels that I have drawn here on the chart. We have this channel here. I didn't talk about these yet. We have this channel where we've been consolidating downwards. And I talked about this in the previous video, where people are trying to call a head and shoulders thing here, and it's not really a head and shoulders, but it is a reversal downwards a little bit. And that's what these channels here are depicting. Now I cloned this one and put it on top of itself, and because we are moving upwards, so it will affect the price action. You can see here that we actually did wick down to the center line of, or the quarter line of that channel right there. I mean, we didn't come down to the top of to the center line of this white channel. We came down to the quarter line of this channel. Now we may come down to the center line of that channel. We're on a daily chart now. Yeah. Over the course of the next couple of days, we may come down here and wick down here, just go sideways a little bit Thursday, and then bounce Friday and continue upwards to 108. But at the time that I drew these lines, it would make a lot of sense that we would do one of two things. Come up to the center line of this channel, get a rejection, and then the bears at that point might have enough. The selling pressure might be exhausted enough for the bears to take control back and dump us down to where? Down to possibly the bottom of the Gaussian channel, around 91,000, which would also be the center line of this channel here. So that makes a lot of sense, and that would occur around the 19th of January, just before the inauguration. Now, also what we have coming up, and we don't have it on this chart, is on the 15th is a CPI data release. And actually the day before, on the 14th, is a PPI data release. So they're reversed. Usually PPI comes the day after CPI. But they're reversed for some reason. And so often we will have a pullback into the CPI data. We also have the FOMC meeting coming at the end of the month, the 29th, I believe. So we did rally. So you can see here, we did not get rejected at the center line of this channel. So my original green plan is the probably the more likely that we continue up here and hit the top of this white channel at least. Now, that would be a good point to see a rejection, and it's also right around 108, which is our it would be a double top from our all-time high, our most recently posted all-time high. Now, but we're running out of time. If we don't do that today, if we don't do that until Friday, and we come all the way up there, we're going to be at 109. We're going to be past 108. So it won't be a double top scenario exactly. I guess maybe it still could be. It's close enough. But we're kind of losing that. So maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, not Tuesday, but Wednesday, we could still be 108, possibly 108 and a half. And get it, the double top. And when we have a double top, everybody's going to think, oh, it's the end of the world and this is it. And we're going to dump to hell. We're going to dump to zero. That was it. It's all over. It's the stupidest effing thing in the world. Anybody that's saying that and that's serious, the reason they're saying it is because they're bears and they're just trying to scare you so that they can, get more fuel to make money off of all you suckers. Anyway, they're just trying to dump the market, and they're doing it because they're shorting the market. So, now, so here, it's been my theory that we get rejected here and come all the way down to the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel, right around 91. Now, we may not get that far if we come up this high. We may only get down to the center, to the intersection of these two lines here, back down to the bottom of our white channel. We have not broken this as support since November. So that might hold us. I'm thinking that if we do come up to the top of this channel, we'll probably come down to back down to the bottom of the channel and no further in this red circle that I've drawn. I've drawn that since the last video. Now, if I turn the Gaussian channel on, you'll see why that could be the case. Because what do you see that would be interacting with the bottom of the channel there? The center line of the Gaussian channel. The center line of the Gaussian channel is here and moving up towards my red circle and the bottom of the white channel. So that would be a good target for a pullback if we did get a rejection here. Either somewhere in the red circle or possibly even the intersection of these two channels, this downwards one, sloping one, and the bottom of our white channel. which are all white. Ironically, that's at 95, 96. But yeah, right about 96,000. And that would be the 22nd of May. Now, where is the 15th of May? Okay, the 15th of May is in my circle. I think that's more likely. I think if we do get a rejection from the top of this channel, that we come down heading into the 15th of May and find support at the base of this channel, possibly coming down to 91, but I think we'll find support at the base of this channel. So, and if we did come to 91, down to 91, I think it would be like a wick, a very fast wick. Like if you blinked, you'd miss it. So, but what I don't want to do is have everyone thinking that a rejection here is a done deal, because it's not. We could rally up here, and if we break through and hold support on top of this, or whatever, I don't know what kind of consolidation we may have on top of this. Maybe it might just be a brief little 1 hour candle, a 4 hour candle, a daily candle, I don't know, or a longer consolidation on top of here. We may not get a rejection here. We may shoot up through it, and we may not even consolidate. We may shoot up through it up to 120 or something. Who knows? Maybe up to the top of this blue channel. And then when we do get a rejection at some point, we just simply come down to the top of the channel. How much of a move would that be? A 10% move, which is what we've been getting a lot. We've been getting a lot of 10% moves. So anyway, right now what we're doing, I think we're going up to, since we've broken through, let's turn the Gaussian channel off because that's annoying as hell. Right now, over the course of the next few days, since we've broken through the center line of the white channel, I believe that we will go up to 108. I don't see any other. Now, we are on the Coinbase chart. So let's switch over. Oh, before we do, though, I want to show you one more thing. And you'll see this. I'm going to show it to you also on the index chart. But I want to show it to you here because it's a little bit clearer. Remember the channel that I pulled over, this channel right here. This channel, the parabolic channel. So I pulled it over to where we're at now, and it's hard to see. You know what? I'm going to make it, let's just make it super fat. There we go. So there's our parabolic channel. And I placed it here where we started moving upwards. Started moving upwards here since the since October. Started moving up right along the first portion of this channel. And we've gone a little sideways, and now where are we right now? Right now we're at the other side of the channel, and we are moving up right along this edge of the channel. So that's one reason why too I'm saying we may not stop here. We may keep going. Or hell, we may keep going up here, then come down and see a rejection to here. Of course, remember in the past that we didn't necessarily travel up in one of these channels. Could very well be that we have, and put this over here, and that we do travel up here, maybe come back down, travel up here, you know, go a little parabolic here, come back down, go a little parabolic here. There, we're already at 160. Now, I do think there's a good chance we might hit something like between 150 and 180 by March. See a pullback. Oh, that's the other thing I did want to talk about, is that what are we doing here? What is this? What are we doing here? Consolidating within this white channel, going sideways. We're building a little support level here at 90 to 100,000. And why are we doing that? Because this is our support for the next bear market. And it could be our support for the summer. If we rally up, if we get a double rally out of this deal, where we rally up into March, maybe April, maybe even June, and then we see a pullback, some sort of a dramatic pullback from here. Say we get up to here, like 211. I have this green X at 211, which is very possible by March. Who knows? That's just 2 months away, but it could be 2 crazy months, or we double in price, and then we see some sort of a consolidation. We fall back down. Middle of summer, we're back down here testing this, because that was it. That was the bull market. The bull market's over. Now we're dumping, and we come back down. We find support on 100,000, and maybe we see a little bit of volatility. Oh my God! Look at, I got my green X's already. I must have done this a long time ago. Where is that? That's in the middle, end of July. That could be a scenario too, where we come back down to the bottom of the white channel. It's at 126, and then rally back up to like 260. Wow, that's one scenario I laid out quite a while back. I forgot all about that. Who knows? No, let's go. Before we go, let's look at our this chart over here. And there's no sense in looking at the oscillators. The oscillators are turning upwards on the lower time frames, and the weekly is turning down. But it's at the top and curving downwards, but it's curving back upwards on the weekly. Yeah, this is why we're not looking at this chart, and we're not even going to go on a daily. We're going to go on an hourly, because nothing makes sense on a daily. There we go. Now we at least can see something. Now, what's really interesting is we are pretty much finding a level of support around this 101, 700, 600, 700 area, and not moving a whole heck of a lot from here. You know, I really hate this when all the movement, a lot of the movement takes place during the American market hours, which is really kind of annoying to me, because it's not what crypto is about. But that it is what it is. So remember the parabolic excuse me, parabolic parallel channels that I was talking about before. This is the set of lines here represents those channels. I have several different sizes, and that's why there's a green one, a red one, and a white one. And when I was super zoomed out, and you place them, you line them up, when you zoom in, they're not exactly on top. They're not to the hour on top of each other. That's why they're a little bit off there. Actually, the green and red are pretty matched up. They're just not matched up with the white one. And if I zoom out here, oh, see, because I made this other red one. But I placed those a long time ago. And I placed it where? I placed it, well, it's not important. I started placing them, is this October? Well, nonetheless, they've been here for a while, and I just found it really ironic that we came right up to the channel here. It was so funny that we came right up to it here and then started going upwards. Like, oh, okay, this could be where we're moving right now. Anyway, you can see here that we did break through the white center line of our white channel there. That's what it looks like on this chart. And okay, so the other thing here, let me go on a 4 hour. There are these green channels going this way. See this green center line, dash center line, and there's another dash center line right here. These have been stepping stone channels for us. You can see here this dotted line, how it acted as support. We fell through it. Had a little bit of support on the center line, not much, fell through it down to the next level. Had a little bit of support on this dotted line here, fell through it down to the bottom of the green channel right here. Then we bounced through the dotted quarter line, back up to the center line, held it as support, dumped back down. We've been stepping up and down these channels, back down to the bottom, and you can see, if I zoom in, how accurate. I mean, we wicked down to the green line there, to there, there. And then we fell through. We fell through where? We fell through to the quarter line right here. And then we fell through to the center line right here. And we found support here on the quarter line. We did wick through and kind of consolidated a little bit in the bottom, in the center of this channel, and then we bounced up here and got rejected off the center line, back down to the quarter line. Got rejected off the quarter line, back down to the center line there. And here, what was really interesting, rather than consolidating on top of this dotted quarter line here, we consolidated beneath it, not even coming down to the center line here. And then we broke through it. That's when we had our big pump the other day. Now here, we did break through the intersection of the two channels, this lower channel here and this upper one here. we broke through, and remember we're on a 4-hour chart, and we held our candle bodies here, two 4-hour candles, and then we fell below the channel. So that's kind of troublesome to me. However, we were consolidating underneath here. Here we're kind of consolidating on top, and then we switch to underneath. But as long as we are above the center line of the white channel, that's very, very strong. And that tells me we're moving upwards. So unless we fall below around 10 and close on some, you know, start watching the hourly closes and see if it moves into a 4-hour close. A lot of times they try to fake you out on the hourly closes, and you got to watch the 4-hour closes and the daily closes. So right now this center line is at 101.2 on the TradingView Index Bitcoin chart. It's at 101.2, and over the course of the next, well, into Wednesday, UTC, 0 UTC, it's about 101.3. So 101.2 to 101.3. We're looking to stay above that. And that's fine. We may very well come down here, and that's a, you know, kind of a bull flaggish consolidation. And so towards the end of the day on Tuesday, maybe we see a bounce here. Or when market opens, we see a bounce. Or a rejection, or a dump. But I'm thinking we still head higher. We're still heading higher here. Yeah, it's all, even the oscillators are. Hey, knock it off! I'm trying to turn my oscillators on. There we go. We're on a 4-hour. Okay, 4 hours turning down. Actually, I imagine here, this on the RSI. I imagine we get a bounce there. How much longer do we have? We have an hour and 45. We're halfway through this 4-hour candle. And this too can turn up. And stochastic is still way up high. These things can stay up high for a long time. Let's see the daily. The daily's turning up. Oh no, I'm sorry. I guess it's the weekly that's turning up. These other ones are up here, but they can stay up here for a while. As we've done here in the past. So all this stuff, all these oscillators can stay up there for a while. Yeah, I mean, so they don't really tell you a lot, really. I mean, you can look for crosses, but things cross and things uncross all the time. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You just kind of got to get a feel for what could happen. But one thing that's important here on the RSI is, let me just turn this one on by itself, that we have broken out of this downwards consolidation in this red channel. We have broken out of that. And you can see we're on a daily, so we are coming back down here, but that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. But we did we are seeing a rejection right here at the center line of this green channel. And what is that green channel? Well, that's kind of showing this move here. It's where we've been traveling in since since June. Been traveling upwards there. And back down to the bottom here. Yeah, so maybe that's it. And but we did get a rejection at the center line. So I think we will. We will see a pullback in January. I think pretty soon too. I think this rally might last the rest of the week. Might just last tomorrow or Wednesday. We got a weird closure on Thursday for former President Carter. So I don't know. Let's see what happens with this. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And let's not leave it there. That's a little bit crazy. Let's leave it here. Looking at a still crazy but less crazy chart. Yeah, let's look at it on the hourly. Oh, see, this is interesting. Yeah, see, when you look at these things on different charts, it's always a lot of fun. So we're consolidating right here on this chart, on the Coinbase chart. We're consolidating right on top of that quarter line on the next parallel channel up from where we were before. Huh. Oh, what's really interesting is that this intersection right here is Wednesday morning U.S. market open. We could very well just consolidate here all the way till Wednesday morning and then boom, one way or the other. So let's see what happens, people. Like, subscribe, or do whatever you want, and we'll see you next time.